Well, percenters, welcome back. Austin Reaves, why an undrafted sophomore is getting an MVP chance. LeBum riding the bench. Lakers on a win streak without him. Austin Powers making it big time. Thinking basketball. Freaking free throws when they're chanting MVP.
Is getting MVP chance.
If you're not from LA, you don't know this guy. He has a dope nickname, AR-15. They also call him Hillbilly Kobe. He was that guy in college.
What in the Basel exposition is happening?
Makes some wild shots.
Reaves
reminds me a lot of Ginobili.
Bench player to ever score 35, grab 5 balls.
Like that. Really, really smart player. Athletic. More athletic than he looks. Very under control. Can handle, can shake, can shoot a little bit. But his intensity and passion, I think, is what Laker fans love most about him.
Words and dish out 5 assists in a
single
game.
Dime.
And then he followed it up with 25 and 11 against the Suns, all while just taking 10 shots from the floor. Since
Gets fouled a lot.
D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt, and Malik Beasley, LA is now 11-6, despite LeBron James missing all but 3 of those games. But Reaves has also been a big part of this change too, since his opportunities have gone way up with the departure of Russell Westbrook. Reaves' statistical profile is completely different without Westbrook out there, looking more like a 16 to 18 point per game, hyper-efficient scorer who can also run some offense, especially out of pick and roll.
I wouldn't call him hyper-efficient.
There are 3 huge elements to his game that I think will make him a value add in the cauldron of the playoffs.
Like that, man. It's crazy.
First, there's his ball handling. Here, he uses his body to cut off Drew Holiday, holds his dribble to force a switch onto Giannis, then stares down Adetokounmpo so he can cross him back to Greece and finish.
Got him.
There holds.
Handling is a lot more than dribble types. When I teach ball handling, right, it's types, footworks, and manipulations. And if you can break it down like that, I can teach any player handles, right? You need body control, ball control,
his dribble to
and mind control, deception.
Force a switch onto Giannis, then stares down Adetokounmpo so he can cross him back to Greece and finish. There's a confidence to Austin's ball handling that opens doors for him. This little
It's not really confidence, man. It's ability. Well, I don't know. It's confidence. You need evidence. Where do you get confidence from? Evidence. Evidence you can move. Evidence you have control over that ball. You have control over your body.
Back and forth dribble walks his man right into a screen. Then he throws it out in front of him for a Euro and finishes through contact.
Sarge
Here's
can
a
do nothing on
series
him.
of behind-the-back dribbles to protect the ball, to set up a cross, and this time he slaloms back successfully for 2.
High
Earlier
pickup.
this season, we discussed Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's technique of going between his legs, then exploding, and Reaves uses the same slow roll here before exploding in for free throws.
That's anchored.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's technique of going between
That's a delayed.
his legs,
So that's a delayed between.
Exploding. And Reaves uses the same slow
And this is
roll
a
here
anchored between, right? You anchor that right foot, you twist your hips, you crank
before
around.
exploding
Not the same.
in for free throws. He has
Look at his attempt. Did you see his attempt? Oh my god.
a little herky-jerky between his legs, then exploding. And Reaves uses the same slow roll here before exploding in for free.
Look at this attempt off the left foot, right? Goes high, shows the ball early, get the guy to contest, draws a contact, no regard for his body, hangs, shoots it up left.
He has a little herky-jerky stop and start game to
Smitty, full spin,
go with
crossover.
And this fake spin back cross that gets free throws is an old Chris Paul staple. And Reaves will use those little fake spin smitties
Knows how to
crack
draw
open
contact.
windows, and that's a nice pocket pass. Some players can dribble well, but it prevents them from seeing the floor. Dennis Schroeder misses an obvious mismatch here, gnashing around the court. But Reaves keeps his head up on these moves. This is a filthy behind-the-back cross to shed Devin Booker.
That's not even that bad. He's worried about the screen.
Then he freezes Chris Paul under the basket with his head and eyes by looking to the corner to make space for that dime.
What makes a great pass? Right time, right type, right target.
Austin's emerging at almost 25 years old.
Russell Westbrook does not have this vision. You have to be able to process the game faster. You have to be able to manipulate defenders with the ball, your body, and your eyes
to make space for that dime.
So Westbrook, he tries, but he just doesn't have this vision. It's like a processing speed thing.
Austin's emerging at almost 25 years old, but I get the sense he's learned from watching LeBron James and other great
LeBron
guards.
has it.
But
LeBron has the playmaking, the vision, but he does not have the handle. He does not have this wiggle. He does not have this footwork.
The dust Markelle Fultz and pops off a lob to a cutter, and these blended dribble passes are staples of elite point guards like Darius Garland. Reaves' subtle deliveries off the dribble impress me too. He's dancing.
You got to be able to give it at different angles. Sometimes it's a hook pass, sometimes it's off the dribble, sometimes it's behind the back, sometimes it's a lob, sometimes it's no look. You have to be able to deliver that ball. So when I talk about body control, right, that's part of it. Understanding how to pass that ball in unorthodox or never before done ways. Creativity.
Realizes Booker is shading over too much, so he no looks one by his ear to a cutting D'Angelo Russell. Of course, a strong handle supports off the dribble shooting, and while he doesn't have the quickest release, he can walk into little shooting pockets and make these at moderate efficiency. And he can flat out juke defenders with the ball in a string, going off the wrong leg for an and one.
That's timing.
And make these at moderate efficiency. And he can flat out juke defenders.
If you can pass at any moment, that means you can shoot at any moment. If you have the footwork that supports that, that's how this all works. Okay? Stride stop or the hockey stop like there, right? You lull the ball, push cross, you get back in here, you feel the contact. If you take one more step, you're going to get smashed. So you go right foot, right hand.
For an and one, which brings us to the way he uses his body. Reaves measured at nearly 6'5" barefoot, so he's a big guard who will bang himself around to control defenders.
He does that all the time. Devin Booker does all that
puts
time.
Them in jail on his hip like this, earning more free throws
Trae
here.
Young.
And this pairs well with his ball handling because he can probe under control, shield a defender with his frame while setting up a filthy Euro step.
Nice little push cross in the beginning to set that up.
Handling because he can probe under control, shield a defender.
Okay, a lot of guys want to do this. You see all the drills kind of doing this. Everybody wants to be a point guard. Everybody can do the drills. Everybody can't process how compact this is and how fast you need to make these moves and how fast you need to make these decisions here. Okay, you see SGA, Chris Paul. Some guys like to do it. Schroeder likes to do it, but he doesn't have all the skills.
Frame while setting up.
Right, you got to throw that thing to the left, swing or rip it underneath, go underneath. Then you have to be able to finish right or left hand or sneak it, in this case, with the right hand.
About 40% of Austin's offense comes at the rim or the free throw line.
A lot of guys can do this stuff. A lot of guys can't process it fast enough. A lot of guys, sometimes they are not good at drawing the fouls. A lot of times they'll get hit or they avoid the contact. And so they can put a guy in jail all the time. They can put a guy on their hip. They can do the push cross. It's a whole package.
A ton of fouls out there, ranking 8th in the league in his ratio of free throw attempts to rim field goal attempts, behind crafty players like CP3, Trae Young, and Luka Doncic.
There we go.
On this one, he kind of gets stuck on his drive, has the footwork to spin like a ballerina, and seeks out contact on that last up fake for some generous free throws.
That's not a foul.
Also, has the footwork to spin like...
Okay, right here, if he was a little bit stronger, more athletic, he can just rise up and shoot over Booker. Booker probably would bump him and then rise up. Kobe would bump him and then rise up. Okay, double front pivot here like Joker. That's not a problem. A little Larry Bird-esque. Not many guys can be patient and poise and pivot all these times here.
That last up fake for some generous free throws. He'll also seek out contact when exploding to the basket here rejecting the screen with a crossover and taking it right into the teeth to head back to the charity stripe. And he has some sneaky bursts on these drives, hesitating as he turns the corner here.
When I talk about being in a split stance in a closed off position, you never want to be chest to chest unless you're the super fast player. You show them different angles, and then you're always in a lunge or a split ready to attack.
Into the teeth to head back to the charity stripe.
So understanding angles and ball position, like right here, they're not chest to chest. Right here, they twist.
On these
there, bring him back.
Hesitating at.
Is that Markelle Fultz? Markelle Fultz is just a way superior athlete right here. Shoulder to chest. Right, skipping around.
Slowing up again, then exploding to the backboard to protect the ball.
Big guy's just waiting to pin it.
Right on the glass like this to make it harder for shot blockers. Because of his dribbling and the way he uses his body, he's usually under control when he touches the paint, patiently holding his pivot here before finding a dunk. And he has pretty good footwork, slamming on the brakes this time for a lovely fadeaway from 10. And that brings us to his feel. He just has a really nice sense of where to be and what to do. Take this simple play.
The feel is the hardest to teach. You have to be able to understand the game. KYP, know your personnel. Schroeder's not going to be able to make this pass, so
he has a really nice sense of
he comes right into the gap, cuts that 45 gap from the wing right to the middle. He knows as soon as he catches it, he's not dunking on these people, so he covers up and dimes it off real quick. So then his player is essentially dunking on him.
Take this simple play. Reaves is telling his screener to stay away because he spots a mismatch under the hoop and he wants a clear angle to throw the entry so he can drop it in perfectly. Or a play like this, where his man falls down, so he holds it for a beat to see if the corner comes and helps. He does, and a layup is better than a three. I love this one against Toronto, where he drives, hits the corner, then instead of floating to the other side of the court or even relocating to the near corner, he finds a pocket on the baseline, is again patient with it, and then fakes Pascal Siakam right into a three-point play. Yeah. But then against the Magic baseline,
this is called being smart.
Hits the corner, then instead of floating to the
right, so you have to fill into the gaps. If you want to score, if you want the ball in your hands, you have to get into passing windows. Okay, so most guys would just fill out the other side, turn their head, and not really know what's going on. Other guys like Steph Curry would run straight to the corner. Right? What is Rui Hachimura capable of? Right? So the guy that's open right now would be Schroeder and Austin Reaves. If he throws it to Schroeder, Scotty Barnes might jump that passing lane and just steal that.
To the near corner, he finds a pocket on the
right. If you hide behind the defenders, right, no one's gonna know that you're there. Okay, if he runs to the corner, Fred VanVleet can recover. If he slides more out to the dunker spot, I don't think he's gonna catch that and dunk that. So he stays right there underneath the hole.
Baseline is again patient with it and then fakes Pascal Siakam right into a three-point play. Yeah. But then against the Magic, he's in a late clock situation and immediately relocates to the corner for a three, and that induces a sloppy challenge from a rookie, creating 3 free throws.
Talk about that grenade mentality. Smart.
Reaves doesn't try to do too much out there, staying under control and making good decisions that drive good team offense. The trade-off here, of course, is that he can't be a high-volume scoring weapon while serving as connective tissue. He doesn't put a ton of pressure on defenses with his scoring, so he's looking for cracks to attack or move it along to something better.
This is just a great pass. I mean, this is underrated here.
He doesn't put a ton of pressure on defenses with his scoring, so he's...
Okay, they set up a little flare screen for Malik Beasley. You got to throw it to the right side, and it's got to be on time for the shooter to catch and shoot it.
To attack or move it along to something better. It's not that he won't try tight passes or commit turnovers. It's just that he generally makes solid plays, attacking a switch, which forces a double, so it's a quick skip to the corner for 3.
You love
Reaves
players
has a
like
great
this.
knack for loose balls, scooping this up and going behind the back here instead of looking to score because he was anticipating the shot blocker selling out to him exactly like Joel Embiid did here. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Is that fancy pass? Is that a fancy pass, or you got to jump, and then if you dime it in front, it's probably going to get batted, so you go behind the back because it's protected. What do you guys think? You dime it to D'Angelo Russell. Is D'Angelo Russell a dunker?
Because he was
Oh, hell no.
anticipating
See
the
how fast
shot
he got rid of that
blocker selling
thing?
out to him exactly like
Right, so when you get this collision in the air, if you try to drop it off or bounce it off the floor, it's not going to work.
Joel.
So you have to be creative, or you have to have practiced these.
He did here. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Reaves is on the wing in transition here and has the presence of mind to pick up the ball and attack in one motion, finishing on the other side.
Poise.
Feel is also about timing and delivery, crossing over, slowing down, then timing a pass just as he bursts downhill, because that move draws the defender and creates space for Anthony Davis.
Pace.
Feel also shows up.
Everybody wants to like train shifty. If you're fast, don't be shifty. But if you're fast, the ability to control pace and be shifty is very, very valuable. But don't be shifty for shifty's sake.
Away from the ball, whether it's sensing an overplay and backdooring for another reverse, or catching it in transition, hesitating for a pull-up to buckle a defender and then
Terrible
take
defense.
it home. And this off-ball game
terrible
is the
defender.
area right now that fits with someone like LeBron James. Austin shoots 37% on his open threes. He has a nice sense of when to cut, although that's a rare misfire by LeBron. And he can attack a closeout, stampeding into a cross and a spin and a little mid-range magic. Now, Reaves doesn't have
I need to use more embellishing words.
much of a wingspan, and he has very small hands. So it might be hard for him to ever level up as an offensive force without a big jump in his pull-up three-point of a wingspan, and he has very stampeding into a cross and a spin and a little mid-range magic. Now, Reaves doesn't have much of a wingspan, and he has very small hands. So it
Wingspan and small hands, doesn't really mean that much.
might be hard for him to
For defense,
ever
yes.
level up as an offensive force without
Leveling up offense is so easy. Increase your athleticism, which will come in a few years. He's 24, 25. He has at least 3-4 more years to put on some speed, strength, power, all that, and you just extend your range. He already has the handle in the field. That'll all tighten up. He can be as good as he wants to be. Will he be a hyper athlete like any of those DeRozans, Kobe's, Vince Carter's, T-Max? Probably not, but he can definitely be as athletic as Steph Curry.
without a big jump in his pull-up three-point shooting. Even that doesn't have the fastest release right now, but he's already playing pretty well in multiple phases of the game, doing a ton of little things.
I call
and
that
he
the
has
first
his
four.
release right now, but he's
First four, what is your first four steps in transition? Are you jogging? Is your head down, right? When someone secures the rebound or when the play is about to go the other
already
way, what are your
playing
first
pretty
four
well
steps?
in
Boom, he's already, that thing is there. He's stuck in the corner. Nobody's back. Look, he's taking off. His arms are already going. Look at D'Angelo Russell up in the top corner, and he's still standing, right?
multiple phases of the game.
And then he's driving, whereas D'Angelo Russell is
Even
cruising.
that doesn't have the fastest release right now, but he's already
So look at D'Angelo Russell up top. Does he sprint right away, or is he cruising right away? You see Austin Reaves, he starts driving his feet, and that boy's taking off.
playing pretty well in multiple phases of the game, doing a ton of little things and using his awareness and agility to hold up pretty well on defense.
That's what I mean about the
I
passion.
wouldn't call him a good defender right now, but he's also not a problem out there, which is key for the Lakers, who are driven by their high-end defense since turning over their roster at the trade deadline. Reaves certainly does enough to hold his own as, at times, their smallest player on the floor,
6'5".
fighting through screens and, perhaps most importantly, understanding scheme. Booker was
Defense
a
is
priority in the
always
Phoenix
scheme.
game,
Team
and Jared
game.
Vanderbilt loses him here, so Reaves immediately jumps out to cut him off without fouling, and it's a miss. I, for one, am fascinated to see what the Lakers look like if and when LeBron can return.
Ooh!
But I also think Reaves has become one of their best supporting players, and his success could correlate with how this Lakers season ends. I'm not sure how much room there is for a 25-year-old second-year guard to grow, but whatever happens, MVP chance aside, I'm certainly enjoying the show.
I love watching this guy. He's underrated. Well, he's going to get hype because of the Lakers. He's on the Lakers, but really good overall player. Does he have superstar potential? No. In LA, maybe he'll get crazy, but he can definitely improve. Very, very underrated. He's about to get paid. Until next video, take 14 minutes, 24 seconds, or 1% of your day to get better. Peace.